Imagine moving a mountain, not of rock, but of petabytes of critical business data. A task so immense, it can even make a seasoned IT professional break a sweat. What if I told you there is a blueprint to not just move the mountain, but do it faster, safer, and with unparalleled efficiency? Stay tuned, because today we are unlocking the secrets to very large database migration. Welcome to AZ120 SAP Workloads on Azure series, and in this series we are understanding migrating SAP workloads to Azure. If you are new here, my name is Rajdeep. I am a Microsoft certified trainer and a solution architect, helping clients build amazing solutions every day. And we are on a mission to make learning fun as well as crack certifications in that process. In today's digital landscape, data is gold, and for many enterprises, that gold resides in SAP databases. But when those databases swell beyond 25 terabytes, they become what we call VLDB, very large databases. Think of it like Formula 1 pit stop for your entire digital infrastructure. Precision, speed, and zero errors are non-negotiable. So how do we transform this daunting challenge into a seamless operation? It all boils down to a blend of advanced tools and strategic optimizations, and no stone unturned approach. We are going deep into the specific procedures and techniques you'll need to master this migration. Let's break down the journey. Chapter 1: The VLDB Challenge and Throughput Goal. An ideal migration rate aims for 2 terabyte per hour throughput. For a standard 25 TB database, that's roughly 10 hours of migration time. But there's a catch. This assumes your database is fully optimized. What does that mean? It's like ensuring your engine is fully tuned before a long trip. Your SAP database should be finely tuned at every level: queries, resource usage, data structure, and data movement. A fully optimized system guarantees maximum throughput and the best user experience, both for users and business processes. For heterogeneous OS and DB migration, you need specialized tools. What are those specialized tools? R3 Load and Megmon. Think of R3 Load as your elite team member of digital movers. It exports and imports SAP database on a separate lightning-fast server, keeping your core database free and focused. Now, in case of R3 Load server, 4 servers are normally deployed. Server 1 handles those few massive elephant tables. Servers 2 and 3 tackle the tables that need splitting, like breaking colossal tables into manageable chunks. Imagine trying to move a giant statue. You break it down into pieces for easier transport. And server 4 takes care of all the remaining tables. Now, in order to achieve a successful VLDB migration, it all boils down to 5 critical steps. First step is optimize the source system. Next, optimize the network upload. Next, optimize the target system. Create a recommended migration project document. And lastly, monitor the migration. Let's unpack each one of them and understand them in more detail. Before that, I want your help. I have kept a small but a mighty target of 500 subscribers. If you feel the content is helpful in any way, please do subscribe. Give me a virtual high five, and I'll keep creating content like this for you. Okay, let's focus on the first one. Chapter 2: Optimize the source system. Why optimize the source? Simple. It reduces migration and export times, minimizes downtime, ensures system stability, and gives your new target system a high performance baseline. It's like cleaning your house before the big move. First, purge unnecessary data, get rid of technical tables and data you don't truly need to significantly reduce the data to move. Next, run the R3 Load servers on fast Intel servers. We are talking about standalone modern dual socket Intel servers with at least 128 GB RAM. Avoid old Unix or virtualized servers. They have performance bottlenecks. Connect these R3 Load servers to your database with a high speed, low latency 10 gigabit network. That's your data superhighway. Sequence your export for speed. Put your largest table at the very top of the export order. For truly huge tables, export them without sorting. Also enable jumbo frames on your network between the source DB and R3 Load servers. Now, what is jumbo frames? Think of them as widening the lane on your data highway. Standard Ethernet packets are 1500 bytes, while jumbo frames are typically up to 9000 bytes or more. This significantly boosts the network throughput and reduces CPU load on your R3 servers. You can configure this on network devices, for example on Linux, with a simple command like ifconfig eth0 and mtu you set to 9000. For database administrators, a powerful tactic is splitting big SAP tables into small chunks and sending them in parallel R3 load servers. This is especially useful for SAP on Oracle databases. Another genius move is cloning your database. You can make several copies of your massive SAP database and export from each copy simultaneously, dramatically speeding up your export work. Of course, this means you need to double the storage and network resources, but for speed, it's often worth it. This cloned database model allocates specific roles to each DB server and the export server, ensuring no one is stepping into each other's shoes. A specialized migration tool called Migration Monitor is then set up to ensure each export server works on its designated set of tables. Remember to keep the clone servers in sync using log shipping and always have an SAP incident open for export support. Next, we optimize the network upload. Beyond jumbo frames, let's talk about advanced networking tweaks. There's a feature called RSS, receive side scaling. Imagine trying to unlock a truck with just one person versus the whole team. RSS lets you distribute incoming network traffic across multiple CPUs instead of just one CPU. Multiple CPUs process in parallel, like having multiple delivery trucks working simultaneously. It's enabled by default on Linux. You can enable it on Windows with a simple PowerShell command. When R3 load server compresses your data into dump files, you will use AZCopy to upload them swiftly into Azure if you're using ExpressRoute, and RoboCopy can be used for copying files directly to blob storage. Chapter 4. Optimize the target system. Now that your source and network are primed, let's prepare the target system, your data's new home. Ensure you're running the latest OS version, security patches, database versions, and SAP kernel. For the migration itself, deploy the largest Azure VM you can lay your hands on. Think of it as bringing in the heaviest machinery for the heaviest lift. You can always scale it down once the heavy lifting is done. Always enable accelerated networking for peak performance. For SQL Server, a critical point, create multiple transaction log files, as VLDB often needs over 5 TB of log space. And always ensure at least 20% of the log space is free to avoid bottlenecks during heavy import. SQL Server also has parallelism, which is an ability to execute parts of query across multiple CPU cores simultaneously. This setting is controlled by maxstop. Maxstop can be set to 0, which lets SQL Server use all the available cores for bulk migration. However, we recommend setting maxstop equal to 1. Why? Because using too many CPUs for one massive query can actually slow down the other processes. This will cause resource contention and performance drops. It's about smart resource management, like making sure one team isn't monopolizing all the tools. Finally, use transparent data encryption, pre-create your database and log files, and then enable TDE just before the import, as it also takes some time to run. Next chapter, migration project documentation, your blueprint to success. Optimizing and documenting VLDB migrations isn't just technical, it's about careful planning and capturing every detail. This will reduce your downtime and also prevent data loss. This is your migration blueprint. Document everything: your current system landscape, upgrade scope, target system design, security, and HADR strategies. You should also document the technical migration approach. For example, how many R3 load servers are used and what are the splitting details. You should also run migration test cycles, which will help you know what worked and what didn't, and critical recovery and exception handling steps. Now, this document is your ultimate guide. This will ensure reliability and consistency. Coming to the next chapter, monitor the migration. During these massive migrations, monitoring is absolutely essential. During massive migrations, monitoring is absolutely essential. It's your mission control, ensuring safety, consistency, and minimal downtime and zero data loss. Monitoring also drives optimization by helping you fine-tune processes during test phase and troubleshoot issues like slow package, runtimes. What should you monitor? Well, everything. On the OS level, you should monitor CPU, thread, free memory, disk, and I/O. On the database level, bulk copy rates, transaction log usage, log contention, session wait times. On the network level, your network team should have specific steps to monitor the network. You'll perform DB import runtime checks using SQL to monitor session statuses. After each test cycle, create flight plan graphs. Plot the number of packages migrated over time and overlay matrices like CPU, disk, R3 load, rows per second. This will help you establish benchmarks and spot any surprises before the final cutover. And of course, meticulously collect and review completion reports for every run. Now, conquering VLDB migration is a significant undertaking, but with the right strategy, it becomes a testament to engineering excellence. Here are some of the crucial real-world lessons and best practices to make migration safer, less costly, and significantly faster. Ensure your export hardware is fast. Use modern dual-socket Intel servers, not only Unix or virtualized servers, to avoid performance bottlenecks. Design for maximum performance from day one. For these R3 load servers, have those fast R3 load servers ready. Survey your SAP landscape thoroughly and update all the kernels before migration. Document everything. Create sizing, network security, and migration design documents. This is your Bible. Performance test, monitor and tune relentlessly. Use those flight plan graphs to compare each cycle to your planned timeline. And finally, the golden rule: oversize first and then downsize. Deploy the largest VM of the migration and then scale them down once the heavy lifting is completed. By embracing these techniques, you're not just moving your data, you're orchestrating a symphony of precision and power. If you find this guide helpful, hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives, and let us know in the comment section what's your biggest challenge in large-scale migration. Until the next time, happy migrating, and I'll see you in the next one.